So it's the progress report, but the progress is very small as compared to last year. Because I had other things to do, but I made a little progress. So this is the motivation here, sort of to document what actually has been done in the field. So Richard, you said it. I could have saved that slide.
Not coordinated.
So this is a Detroit story. Sort of a couple of years ago, I was in Detroit, and I found this fella here. He's sitting there at this famous Rivera murals there at the Detroit Institute of Art, and that's the guy with the slide rule. And he doesn't look happy. This year I had a client and scraped off the time to see the institute again, and I found that Rivera put another computing device here. You see this is a mechanical calculator here, and this guy doesn't look happy either. So, and it took a couple of years. This was painted in the 30s or 33. So. It took a couple of years to put. I like that it became only 1 year. So there's progress here. So the bibliography work started in 2007, so it's almost 10 years old. I reported it sometimes. It was data files, so you can all look that up. So it's fairly complete with the books. But then I sort of started a weak moment to include scientific papers, and now I'm sort of 4,032 entries. You have it on your. Don't print it out, please. So this is the development. So this was. I don't know. It was a particularly bad weather period here. I don't know. So this was just
a remarkable area of production.
Yeah. But the thing is, it's really sort of it's.
Leveled out.
It's leveling out, and there's a situation here. The thing is, there's tons of stuff in the educational area where you can, in any language. I put some Malaysian stuff there just for the fun of it, where they teach us we have studied how graphic calculus work for solving quadratic equations, and you find hundreds of those papers. And I haven't put them all in there. There are plenty of them in there, but I have references to those. And as probably I will retire at one point, and I'll promise to add them. So there is tons of materials out there. So this is interesting plot. Sort of, I think we all feel this. That was the heydays here in the early '80s, and now we're sort of living off this fat tail. The tail here is fatter for the reasons I just stated, because there's a lot of educational stuff here. But I try to keep this tail as fat as possible, to add new stuff if I find it. One thing I find is sometimes I find something interesting, and this is not coming up too well here. I want to report about one finding here. The Library of Congress has the collected paper of John Snyder. John Snyder is the foremost cartographer in America of the last century, and he invented something which was a pressing problem which not all the professional cartographers have solved. He was a chemical engineer by training, but since he was a kid, he was obsessed with maps, map projections. It's about when the satellite goes around the Earth at a very odd orbit, at odd angle. It's the space oblique Mercator projection. So you want to have a map, you have all these images you take for whatever reason. You want to project them on a map, and you have a sort of ongoing, sort of endless path, and you want to have a map which sort of where you can put your images on. And the math is, this is from a paper here. I don't know why this doesn't come out properly here. It's working on the screen. So the guy found this involved some complex math, and he had to use numerical integration to do that. And here it says what's going on here? This is from the paper. I'll show you from the original paper. You can have, by the way, you can have. Now I'll show you. I'll show you. It's on my machine. It's a 30-page document from the Library of Congress where the math is described, and it was a numerical solving of a pretty complex integral with some other equations slapped on, and you did it with a TI. he didn't like HP for some reasons, and and the Library of Congress has the challenge to sort of look at the magnetic cards, recreate the programs, understand VTI programming, and he did some nifty stuff. So with memory allotment and all these things we heard about. So the Library of Congress made a research project out to recreate what he did, so that future people can understand how he reached this spherically oblique orbit stuff. And this is, I find that interesting, that somebody solved the problem with a calculator, which people with big computers couldn't solve. So that's one thing. And the other thing I really want to report at one point, but that takes more time, is when Mr. Feigenbaum found the Feigenbaum constant with an HP65. And that's a natural constant like pi or e, and that is well documented, but it's probably quite nice. It would be nice to recreate the program and see sort of how he could have done that. Probably do this next year or so. But these are one of you come up when you do this program, you come up with references which are really sort of interesting, where people solved pressing problems. This is something which in store, so there's several hundred teaching references I haven't put in there. Obviously I only speak English and German, so it's my sort of, when I troll the internet, my language skills are limited, and so if there's tons of stuff in Spanish, Russian, Malay, Farsi, God knows what is out there, and it's not really accessible for somebody who searches with Google or the internet. So whenever some interesting reference who wants to have included that in the bibliography, just send me an email, and Richard will put me on a speaker next year. I'm quite sure. So, thanks. Thank you. Yeah.
So, Felix, do you include YouTube?
Not yet. So what do you mean? What do you mean by
any documented discussions on calculators?
I could reference Eric's YouTube videos on that. Yeah, I could do that. That's a pretty good idea.
There's a lot of
Damn! I hope the winter has bad weather. There goes the winter. There goes the winter. I don't know. What do you think, Eric? How many videos are calculator videos on there? YouTube? 100? 200?
At least 100 from me.
Okay. Long winter.
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
There's a lot of stuff out there.
And the address stays the same. So if once that has a permanent address, so if I put a link in there, it will stay. It will be sort of retrievable with that.
Theoretically.
Yeah.
Unless they change their mind.
Yeah.
There's always a way back.
Well, it might be worth it. Yeah, it might actually be fun. Yeah, that's a great idea. Thanks. More interesting in educational. Sorry for. I know that the crime is for the educational market, but sort of doing the bibliography, sort of, it's fun to do. Have the old stuff. Okay.